Hello, everyone, and welcome to one more evening reflecting on the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life by our brother Emmanuel through the hands of Chico Xavier. And we are on chapter 84, titled Rise. And in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 31st, Jesus says, Rise, let us leave this place. And Emmanuel wonderfully explained this verse by saying, before withdrawing to offer his final prayers in the garden, Jesus spoke at length to his disciples, explaining the deep meaning of his exemplification. After having revealed his sublime thoughts, he offered the wonderful invitation recorded in the Gospel of John. Rise, let us leave this place. This statement is packed with meaning. When they rise, people of the world usually go in search of easy victories and are anxious for power as they throw themselves into the daily struggle. They might even trade their home for some ephemeral advancement. However, with Jesus, it was the exact opposite. He rose to the thorn before of what Judas would do. He left the place where he was in order to meet with affliction and death shortly thereafter. Of course, he left for his glorious destiny of rejoining the Father. But we need to remember the steps he took to get there. He rose and left to find supreme glory. The 6 stages of the cross are eminently instructive. Gethsemane, the prison, the praetorium, the Villa Dolorosa, Calvary, and the cross itself constitute highly important points to bear in mind, especially today when countless Christians are expecting the trip to entail the luxurious cushions of the least effort. This chapter invites us to rise to the occasion. What is the occasion? The question is, what are we in search of? Are we the workers of Christ? The workers of love? Children of God, making sure that we are following true Christianity, which is based in pure love, forgiveness, and hard work. When Jesus invites us to rise to the occasion, rise and leave this place, it's also to go and face the responsibilities that we have in front of us. But of course, we have to ask first, what are the responsibilities that we have? What are the responsibilities that we are choosing to have? If we are choosing the narrow path of love, then that will entail having patience, having commitment, not losing faith, working towards making our faith stronger, welcoming every day with a lot of gratitude, and being happy even when things are difficult. But how can we be happy even when things are difficult? Happiness is the state of being where we are present, we are grounded, and we are accepting. I'm not talking about the happiness where we get euphoric and happy and jumping up and down. This is a different way of experience happiness, and it's a different type of happiness as well. Because true happiness, it's when we are content with whatever is happening, but we are working actively to perceive that present moment as a tool, but also a blessing for our spiritual evolution. That's my understanding of happiness. But let's go to the chapter and reflect a little bit upon what Emmanuel said about this verse. He says, "Rise, let us leave this place." Jesus said that. And Emmanuel says this statement is packed with meaning. And he goes on to say, when they rise, people of the world usually go in search of easy victories and are anxious for power as they throw themselves into the daily struggle. They might even trade their home for some ephemeral advancement. So, the easy victories are very personal to different people. But what does it mean for you, easy victory? Does it mean to not follow the steps? Maybe walk on top of other people, not following rules to get where you want to get? Could it be easy victory is just the feeling of the luxurious life that sometimes we are, at times we may be in search of, depending how much luxury you believe life should have. But what he says here, though, is that when life gets easy and we have an abundance of, I would say, material wealth and even power, it's easier to go astray from the path, right? That's why it's so difficult when we come to this world with a lot of wealth, because it's very much, it's easier to stay in the comfort of our life and not get to work. And he goes on to say, however, with Jesus, it was exact the opposite, right? He rose to be torn before of what Judas would do. He left the place where he was in order to meet with affliction and death shortly after. And this means so much for all of us that we are choosing the path of Christianity, because we do not stay in comfort. Does it mean that we always need to find a very difficult life in order to prove that we are Christians? No. If you were born with whatever social status you have, it's utilizing that position to make the world better, not only for yourself, but for others. Can you have a comfortable home? Yes, of course you can, right? But the question is, what are you using the home for? What are you using the tools that were given to you, the materials tools, to help yourselves, your family, but not only those that you love, but the universal family that it's called home, the true home, our true family. We are all connected together. And then let's go on to for the one more part that says, of course, he left for his glorious destiny of rejoining the Father, but we need to remember the steps he took to get there. So when Christ met his affliction and ended up going to bear his cross, right? To carry his cross and to die on the cross. He knew also in the end he was going to go rejoice with our Father. He was met with the responsibility of whatever he had to do at that moment. And it's an invitation for us to always remember to meet up and to always stay together with the responsibilities that were given to us so that we do not run away from the path. And what is the path? Always of improving ourselves, always to try the best to follow the gospel. And when we read the gospel according to Spiritism, it helps us to understand the word of Christ. And Emmanuel so beautifully here once again helped us to understand what to rise means. So let us rise to the occasion of working together, of pushing, of persevering in the path of love, in the path of forgiveness, in the path of getting to know ourselves and improving. And with that being said, let's close our eyes, asking Jesus Christ to inspire us to even understand it even more, this passage. There's so much to unpack here. We went briefly with different examples, but there's so much to learn from this chapter. So asking him when we go back to read it so that we can take all the wisdom that we need, each individually need from this chapter, so that we can apply to our daily lives and we can grow and we can be strong. Thank you, Jesus, for helping us to face our fears, to go and serve. Thank you, Master Jesus, for being our role model. And may us follow your footsteps as much as possible. Every single day growing, expanding, knowing that we are eternal beings, living a human experience, and we are always growing and we will never stop learning. So let us always rejoice in the work, knowing that every step that we take towards the love of Jesus, towards the love of God, respecting the different missions that are given to us in this lifetime, always loving, not hurting ourselves, not hurting others, not quitting with our responsibilities, even when things get hard. Help us, Jesus, because we know that one day, when it's our true time, when the time is called for us to leave this body with a lot of respect and a lot of kindness, we will rejoice with our Father, and knowing that life on earth is so precious and so important for us to be able to learn and grow. So let's take the opportunity that we have today to stay together with you, Jesus, to learn more from you, and for us not to take for granted nothing that is happening in our lives. Thank you so much. So be it. Thank you, everyone. So lovely to be here once again. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we will see each other again next week. Thank you.